Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely wild, a forensic audit of a declassified intelligence document. The source material we're looking at makes a pretty bold claim that this file officially acknowledges ancient non-human mega-engineering. And according to the authors, this evidence completely shatters our conventional understanding of human history.
I want you to picture the sterile, tense atmosphere of a CIA interrogation room back in 1984. We are looking at the exact, chilling words spoken by a highly cleared military remote viewer. In the files, he's known as Subject 464, but his real name is Joseph McMoneagle. Now listen closely to what he said. He described a massive generator with intersecting water channels. Keep that specific image locked in your mind, because it's literally the key to everything we're about to cover.
Section 1. The 1984 Mars operation. Let's dig into our first major piece of evidence to see how this mind-bending journey of cosmic espionage actually begins. So the crucial starting point here is May 22, 1984. The CIA's highly classified Stargate program tasked their absolute premier remote viewer with a set of completely blind GPS coordinates. He had literally no clue what planet he was looking at. The coordinates? 40.89 degrees north, 9.55 degrees west. And the actual target was Mars. But it gets even crazier. The CIA handler wasn't just targeting a physical spot on the map, but a temporal era. Exactly 1 million years in the past. So sitting in that 1984 interrogation room at Fort Meade, the subject's consciousness was allegedly projected back to 1 million years BC. And you know what? The public didn't even know this document existed until it was quietly declassified decades later in 2013. Section 2. Echoes of a Dying Planet. Now, what's absolutely fascinating is what this remote viewer claimed to actually witness when his consciousness arrived at those specific Martian coordinates. According to the unredacted transcript, McMoneagle described this completely desolate Martian landscape. He saw massive, highly advanced non-human entities who were desperately trying to survive a catastrophic atmospheric collapse. But here is the kicker. He described them sheltering in massive megalithic structures that he explicitly noted looked identical to the pyramids and the Sphinx. No way, right? Section 3. The Martian Generator Blueprint. And the narrative in these files gets even more incredible when the CIA monitor asks the viewer to essentially look inside one of these massive Martian structures to figure out what it actually does. Now, you have to remember, McMoneagle was entirely blind to the target. He didn't know he was looking at Mars. Yet, according to the audit, his description perfectly matches an active piece of mega-engineering. He specifically described a huge generator with intersecting subterranean water channels. Definitely not a simple tomb. Section 4. The Giza Power Plant. Let's pivot for a second and look at how the sources map the supposed extraterrestrial blueprint right onto the most famous monument here on Earth, the Giza Plateau. To really grasp this connection, the sources suggest we have to completely rethink the Great Pyramid of Giza. We're talking a massive shift away from the official academic narrative. You know, the idea that a primitive Bronze Age agrarian society built a mathematically perfect mausoleum using copper chisels and hemp ropes. Instead, we're looking at a forensic audit that paints it as a highly engineered, solid-state chemical and electromagnetic capacitor, basically an acoustic-hydraulic power plant. By doing a forensic audit of the actual materials, the text argues the pyramid's hull was perfectly designed to be a multi-gigawatt electrical capacitor. Think about it. First, the outer casing originally featured 144,000 Tura limestone blocks that had practically zero metallic content. That makes it a massive dielectric insulator. Then, inside, the core blocks are this porous nummulitic limestone, which actually absorbs groundwater through capillary action, turning it into an electrical conductor. And at the very heart of the whole shebang, massive 70-ton blocks of red rose granite functioning as the core transducer. Okay, let's break down some of the esoteric physics here. The red granite in the King's Chamber is heavily composed of quartz. Now, in physics, quartz is highly piezoelectric. That's a fancy way of saying that when mechanical stress, like really intense acoustic vibration, is applied to it, the crystal lattice alters and generates a measurable, high-voltage electrical charge. So essentially, it's a highly active piezoelectric engine. Section 5. Acoustic-Hydraulic Mechanics Revealed. So, if this entire pyramid was vibrating and generating an intense, localized electromagnetic field, well, what do the sources say was the ultimate output of this vibrating stone machine? Let's move down to the Queen's Chamber. The source argues this room actually functioned as a chemical reactor. Forensic chemical analysis of those heavily stained, sealed air shafts points to a very specific process. The theory goes that builders pumped dilute hydrochloric acid down the northern shaft and hydrated zinc down the southern shaft. When these chemicals met in the chamber, they reacted violently to synthesize pure, highly volatile hydrogen gas. Then, as that energized, pure hydrogen gas naturally floated up through the massive Grand Gallery and into the electrically charged, vibrating King's Chamber, the whole pyramid basically functioned as a massive solid-state maser that stands for microwave amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. It's kind of like a laser, but for microwaves. And this specific number, 1420.4, is absolutely critical. According to the theory, the shafts in the King's Chamber were perfectly aligned to capture ambient cosmic microwave radiation at exactly 1420.4 megahertz. In astrophysics, you might know this as the ubiquitous hydrogen line from space. So when this cosmic energy struck the vibrating hydrogen gas trapped inside that granite box, it released coherent, highly focused microwave energy. All right, Section 6, the extraterrestrial blueprint. Let's connect the dots here and see how the source material brings these two incredible concepts together: the cosmic espionage on Mars and the thermodynamic mechanics over at Giza. The comparison drawn in the text is pretty striking. Those intersecting water channels described by the CIA remote viewer on Mars, which were acting as a massive generator for a dying civilization, they perfectly mirror the exact acoustic-hydraulic power plant mechanics proposed beneath the Giza Plateau. The argument here is that the Great Pyramid literally utilized the kinetic energy of the Nile River and groundwater capillary action, converting it straight into piezoelectric electricity. And it didn't just operate in isolation. The Earth naturally generates extremely low-frequency telluric currents. Now, Giza is perfectly positioned right at the geographic center of the Earth's landmass, sitting directly on top of a massive intersection of these currents. Just like Nikola Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower tried to do a century ago, the source argues this ancient technology tapped into the Earth's natural grid to amplify these currents and broadcast wireless energy across the entire globe. And the source material claims that the intelligence community absolutely knows this. According to the text we're exploring, they utilize official classified intelligence protocols like the Perseus protocol and sophisticated deep penetrating radar to actively catalog this lost ancient high technology, all while keeping it masked from the general public. The authors argue that the modern deep state actively suppresses this reality. You might be wondering, why? Well, because acknowledging that a pre-cataclysmic civilization mastered solid-state microwave energy and wireless power 10,000 years ago, that would completely dismantle our highly profitable global fossil fuel paradigm. So, according to the sources, government information releases often just hide these profound technological truths right in plain sight. So the ultimate takeaway presented by our source material today is that the intelligence apparatus isn't just sitting around writing history textbooks. According to these authors, they are actively hunting for the blueprints of a lost world. They are scavenging the ruins of the gods, trying to reverse engineer directed energy weapons and acoustic resonance technologies that were perfected millions of years ago on other planets and thousands of years ago right here on Earth. I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. If intelligence agencies really do know that the pyramids are active, solid-state generators, and they've actually seen the original extraterrestrial blueprints on Mars, what other impossibilities are they hiding in the dark to maintain control over our current reality? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I hope this sparked some deep curiosity for you. Keep asking questions, and I'll see you in the next one.